What is the most pressing problem of this century? You guessed it already, climate change. Climate change is about the increase of the average temperature of the oceans and the atmosphere. This temperature increase has large consequences on global systems. It leads to melting of ice masses, rise in sea levels, and more extreme weather events, such as heavy rainfalls, flooding, and tropical cyclones, but also heat waves, droughts, and wildfires. This will have large consequences on our way of living. It could affect our accessibility to clean water, it could lead to decreased agricultural crop yields, and it could affect the development of infectious diseases. Most scientists acknowledge that this temperature increase is mainly caused by anthropogenic forcing. This is the increased emission of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere by human activities. The greenhouse effect is a natural process of global warming. Greenhouse gases form a blanket within the Earth's atmosphere, which allows solar radiation to heat up the temperature to livable conditions. The main greenhouse gases emitted by human activities are carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas, and finally ozone. These greenhouse gases are mainly emitted by the combustion of fossil fuels for the production of energy and in transportation. But also deforestation, for example in favor of agriculture, is a large contributor. If we take a closer look at the combustion of fossil fuels for the supply of energy, the contribution to climate change is not the only concern. Burning of fossil fuels could also lead to air pollution, directly in the form of particulate matter, or indirectly when pollutants interact with sunlight and form photochemical ozone. This air pollution could lead to respiratory diseases and causes increased mortality worldwide. Another problem related to the combustion of fossil fuels is acidification. You probably know this problem as acid rain. This damages not only forests, but also our buildings. Is renewable energy the solution? The increased production and use of renewable energy technologies could diminish some of these environmental problems. Renewable energy technologies, such as wind turbines and solar cells, have a strong potential to decrease CO2 emissions and result in much less air pollution during the generation of electricity. But they also have a downside. While moving to more clean technologies, we become reliant on an increasing number of different elements, among which a lot of critical materials that are essential for these renewable energy technologies. As supply from recycling is not sufficient to fulfill the increased demand for these raw materials, they need to be extracted from the Earth's crust. Mining of raw materials is not without harm to the environment. Here you see a satellite image of the Bayan Obo deposit in China. This is one of the largest producers of the rare earth element neodymium. Neodymium is used in the magnets of wind turbines, but also in the motors of electric cars. As you can see, enormous areas of land are required by mining activities, potentially leading to a loss of biodiversity in sensitive areas. The target elements are separated from the waste rocks by the use of chemicals, leading to large quantities of toxic wastes that are deposited in tailing ponds. Processing of raw materials could also be very energy intensive. Are new technologies, such as renewable energy and electric vehicles, environmentally beneficial? Before claiming this, a careful consideration should be made about potential trade-offs, not only to other environmental problems, but also to other geographical areas and to other steps in the technology value chain. How can we create such a complete environmental evaluation? Well, this you will learn in the course about environmental life cycle assessment.